All right, let's talk a little bit about how lead gen works. So, lead gen is great for when you're wanting to get a little bit more aggressive about your growth. If you're wanting to generate more high ticket, high margin cases, and really if you're wanting to grow predictably but quickly. It's really the one marketing effort that can be done kind of like a quick return on investment, right? So now, a lot of people, when they think lead generation or PPC or Facebook ads, it kind of has a bad taste in their mouth. And that's because a lot of agencies, the way that they run them is kind of like this. It's very simple. You throw a bunch of money at Facebook and Google, send traffic to your website or basic landing page, and kind of cross your fingers, hope for the best. And to be honest, this can work, especially if you have a super established brand or if you're in a non-competitive area, that can work. But you're leaving a whole lot on the table, right? And so the way that we run our lead generation or new patient generation is an entire funnel, right? It's an entire kind of buyer's journey funnel where it starts the same with Facebook traffic, Google traffic, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is, right? But then it's pointing to a value-driven offer. And that's important to note when it comes to going after cold traffic, because they don't know who you are. You're usually going to need some kind of valuable offer to hook them, right? So once we hook them, there's a few parts there. We start with the automated nurture sequences, right, which go out, and that's kind of just building value. That's teaching them about the office, the philosophy, the qualifications of the doctor, more information about the services, right? We know a buyer needs about 8 touch points before purchasing. In 2023, that could be as high as really like 16 now. So this is using SMSs, it's using emails, right, to add to those touch points and really get those cold leads warmed up and ready to buy. Now, what goes hand in hand with that is our contact team. Now, we know from, basically science that if you don't reach out to a lead within 5 minutes, your chances of qualifying them drop off, just completely drop off the map. And most offices just don't have the bandwidth, they don't have the training to be following up with leads that fast. And the reality is, in this market, if you don't follow up with them, someone else will. The next ad comes along, the next Google ad comes along, and people are already talking to your competitors. So that's where appointment setters are very clutch in kind of helping this whole process. We're also looking at the online booking, right? Did they show? Did they book online? Did they show, right? We're not just generating leads, we're getting them booked in. And then we're also looking at case acceptance, right? Were they qualified leads? How well did you do at closing them? And then we're also tracking the results. So what does this look like in real life? It looks a little something like that. I can show you a quick preview because I'm trying to be quick here. So you'd have your Facebook ads, right, highlighting the different offer. This would go into the landing page, right, which is again focused on the offer. Once they go through the landing page, they land in here, which is the pipeline, and you would have access to this pipeline and kind of observe these leads as they're moving through. So when a new lead initially comes in, this is where the nurture sequences start, right? And so this would be one example of kind of an email that a new lead would be getting, right? It's a testimonial video talking about a story, maybe something that they have in common, just again building value in the service. And so this is kind of what the automated sequence looks like, right? They come into the pipeline and then they get a text, they get an email, wait a few days, another text, another email, wait a few days, right? So that's kind of how the automated nurturing works, and they're getting touch points at each stage of the buyer's journey. Again, once they book the appointment, they're getting different nurture sequences. If they miss their appointment, they're getting different nurture sequences, right? Just to kind of solidify whatever communication that we're trying at that time. So once they move in here, this is also when the appointment setters get involved and start, reaching out to them, following up with them to essentially get them scheduled, right? That's their goal. So once we get them scheduled, we're looking at kind of, did they show or not? And if they no-showed, we might follow up with them further. We might do different things. Were they qualified? And ultimately, right, did they start treatment? That's the main thing that we're looking at. And we look at that manually, which we'll talk about in a second. So this is kind of the, a full buyer's journey instead of just saying, okay, we're getting you leads, right? That's the main point. And so with that, um, that's where this comes in, right? This graphic. So we're looking at kind of we're looking at the numbers, right? Ultimately, the nice thing about running these funnels is it all comes down to numbers, right? And numbers don't lie. So how much are we paying per click on Google or Facebook? How much are we paying per lead, per booking? What's our, how many of these leads are actually showing to their appointments? What's your close rate, right? And from that we can get an actual cost per acquisition. We know exactly to the dollar how much are we spending to close this new patient, right? And of course we cross-reference that to the patient lifetime value, which, I mean, 7,000 is a good average, right? For a single implant's about 5,000. In full arches are, somewhere around 20. So this is kind of a general average. Invisalign case is like 5,000 roughly. So if our cost per acquisition was, 1,250, and our lifetime value was 7,000, then our return on investment is about 5x, right? Which is, it's good. That's a solid ROI. We're spending 1,000 to get this much back, right? But the thing to know is also if we were to get our cost per lead down to $25 instead of $50, this whole entire thing doubles, right? This cuts in half. This number would cut in half. Our ROI would jump up to 10. So we really control these numbers, and this is where we're constantly optimizing, week after week, day after day, month after month, to kind of really optimize these numbers. So the way that we do that, though, like the tracking of actual, okay, what did we actually close? Okay, we got 100,000 closed of treatment, right? Because we're tracking not just the leads and not just the pipeline, but actually in the practice management software. Okay, we're cross-referencing activity that's going on with what's happening in your practice management software, whether it's Dentrix, EagleSoft, Open Dental, or what have you, or maybe CareStack or online one. And so that's how we're telling, did these appointments actually show up? Are they good appointments, right? Are we getting good leads? Do we need to make a adjustment on that?